Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome, distinguished participants and your excellencies. We are happy that you're interested in our session. The theme is Educating for Sustainability, the vital role of the NASA Globe educators in environmental science diplomacy and UN Sustainable Development Achievements. I would like to introduce a distinguished moderator from NASA Globe. Dr. Mike Jabot is the SUNY Distinguished Professor of Science Education in the Department of Curriculum and Instruction. Dr. Jabot is the director of the Institute for Research in Science Teaching and NASA Earth Ambassador. He is a recipient of the Chancellor Award for Excellence in Research, as well as being recognized for excellence from numerous professional organizations. And I'm really thrilled to share with you that his yet another fantastic title is Deputy Director for NASA Globe in science, training, education, and public engagement. So, of course, Dr. Mike Jabot is really he has extensive expertise in education. So with that, I will give a floor to Professor Mike Jabot. Professor Jabot, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Larissa. So we wanted to do a very quick overview of NASA Globe before we jumped in. So the Globe program is about to celebrate its 30th anniversary. We were founded on Earth Day in 1995. We currently have 127 countries that interact with us and are part of our Globe community. Globe is a unique program in that it is a joint program supported by NASA, but also by NOAA, the National Science Foundation, and the U.S. Department of State. We focus on environmental issues, and we believe that we are the premier program for environmental science diplomacy. This is a map of the current countries. There are some countries that I think will be joining the Globe community very, very soon. But across our 6 regions of the world, you can see the countries that are part of the Globe community and contribute to the data, the citizen science data that Globe collects as part of our program. Larissa is a dear friend of mine and introduced me in a way that is, I'm very, very humbled. I want to spend a little time introducing Larissa. Larissa is the CEO of the Global STEM Education Center in North America in Boston. She is the lead on the UN consultant for the Globe Implementation Office and just does incredible work. And in addition to the work that we do sort of at the administrative level for Globe, both Larissa and I are U.S. Globe partners supporting teachers and classrooms in our regions that we work in. We are very, very fortunate to have 6 incredible speakers as part of this session. I'm going to give you a moment to be able to see where they're from and the roles that they play, and then I will allow them to introduce themselves as they enter into their presentations. For this session, we are very honored and humbled that we have representation from each of the 6 regions for Globe, and each of our speakers share some really unique ways that Globe is being implemented across their region, across their country. We are, as I mentioned before, we believe that we are the leading agency in terms of environmental science diplomacy through education. Larissa and I are both very humbled to have an ongoing relationship with UNITAR and the Global Global Fellows initiative that we work on and try to use Globe as an example of this science diplomacy, but it's certainly linking quality education, SDG 4, and very much so through Globe SDG 17, which brings together countries all around the world with a common goal of helping to empower students in classrooms, teachers, and community members to make the world better. We have some policy briefs that are part of the Globe website that you can pull down, but we are very much focused, because of our work in citizen science, to be able to collect data around 3 sustainable development goals in particular, around SDG 6, 14, and 15. So clean water and sanitation, life underwater, and life on land. We're hoping that the inspiration you're going to get from our 6 speakers today will lead you to search out more information about Globe on our website and consider joining our community. The very first speaker we have is Manal Al-Saleh from Kuwait. I'm going to allow her to introduce herself, and we will begin. So thank you, Manal.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to welcome you all for my slides. I want to introduce myself as one of the Globe member. I am a monitor trainer, and I am from Kuwait. I have a wonderful team, Globe team in my country. I will talk about community, because I think community play a very good roles for us to achieve our goals with the Globe program. So if you allow us to show my videos, this video will introduce our work in our country and in our region.
Thank you for your patience while Professor Jabot is handling the technology. It should be ready for your viewing momentarily. Thank you for your patience.
So our being together today, our being together today show us all the importance of communities in achieving the goals of any scientist program, such as GLOBE. Also, to rules the reaching of the sustainability development goals.
Manal, I apologize. When I clicked on your video, it took me out of share. So I'm going to attempt one more time to share your video.
No problem. We all know how technology sometimes doesn't want to cooperate. So we all been there, we've done that. Yeah, we hear the sound.
Yes, we hear the sound.
Do you see the video?
No.
Not yet. Perhaps we could try to show it from Manal's side. Are you ready to do it?
Yes, can I share my screen?
You absolutely can share your screen.
Okay.
Thank you, Professor Jabot.
Sorry. Is it clear now?
Yeah, we see we don't see the picture yet. We only see the Zoom launch meeting. It's you probably open accidentally a wrong window.
Okay, let me try again. I'm sorry.
No problem. Take your time. Don't worry. We all
And now?
completely understand it. Not yet. For those of you who are watching this in recording or live, we apologize for the delay, but this is really a unique presentation from unique GLOBE members from around the world. And technology sometimes doesn't want to cooperate. What can you do? So we all been there, we all done that. So, and Manal is doing a great job, and Professor Jabot is helping her as much as he can from his side. But we all located from all parts of the world, and we're trying to help each other across the distance. So let's just give Manal some time to handle the video. Or we could really try to maybe manage it behind the screen and maybe go to the slides. I don't know, Manal, what do you think?
Yes, I think we have to go to the slides because I have a problem sharing.
It happens, don't worry. Let's
Let's try now.
Professor Jabot, back to you.
Now,
Oh, here's the video.
okay. Okay.
We don't hear the sound, but it looks absolutely beautiful.
So I think the video is finished, and as you see, what we was achieving in our country is because of the very good help between each other. We are one big team, not just in my country, also in the region, in the NINA region. For example, the annual meeting, they make sort of competition between the teachers. One of my teacher, they give a project about how earthworm affect the soil temperature, acidity, soil temperature and acidity at the regional meeting with other globe teachers. They have a very good sharing the ideas between each other as a teacher. Next slide, please. Also here in the annual meeting, when we have some meeting with each other, our colleagues give training in the field. Every one of the trainers is try to give what he have for the others. So we have a very nice communication between each other. What we have, we can share it to the other scientists. Also, we can share our knowledge to the other students for the other countries in the same region. We have a very wonderful time in the Jordan at the annual meeting at that time. Next, please. In our country at Saturday, because Saturday is a holiday, but we try to make some meeting with the teachers and with the parents and with the students in our scientific center. We bring the students with us. We try to give them an introduction about the globe, and we give them some training. We make for them like cloud seminars. They chase the clouds outside in front of the sea, and we have a wonderful time with the parents and also with our students. Also, my Globe program trainers in our country, they are continued their involvement in the evaluating IBBS competition for the students. They love to do that. Every one of them, he tried to take as much as he can the research to evaluate the research between the students in Arabic or in English. They don't have any matter in that, and we really have a very wonderful time while we are discussing the project between each other. We try our best to participate our students in the environmental events like the Earth Day or the Agriculture Day in the schools, in the Globe schools, and we try to give the students the way to express themselves about their relation with the Earth and their relation with the environment around them. Next, please. Also, every year in Kuwait, when the teachers start to come back to the schools, we trying our best to give them a refresher training about the protocols, about the fields. So when they go back to their students, they have a very good knowledge about this, about how to use the equipment, or how to take the data, how to collect the data, and how to use the programs, the Globe programs. All of that because of the communication between all of us, and every trainers, he want to help and he want to give what he want to give for his teachers. Next, please. Also, we try our best to make our students to share some of their hobbies, like taking a photograph for the environment around them. This is a competition. We call it the environmental warriors. The students from each region in Kuwait, they try to take a photo or a picture that show the impact of the humans on the environment, the bad impact of the humans on the environment, and the best photo he will take same like we give them same like rewards for him, and they feel happy and they feel that they compete with each other about their hobbies. Also, we try to go out of our country to the countries in the region around us. Me and my colleague, we go to Qatar and we give the teachers there some training, and we stay with their students in the field, and we show them some of the experiment that we make in our students in Kuwait. We have a very wonderful time with them, and this will make the community is very, the distance between the countries is very short distance, and we can let the teachers to communicate with each other. Also, some of the countries, they have like a camping, students camping. We try our best to share them, to go for this camping, to stay with the students there, to see their research, to take from them, to listen for them, and also to stay with the teachers there. This information will give a very good impact on us, that the teacher can go out of his school, out of his classroom, in the field, sharing his knowledge with his student and with the other students in his region. Also, the scientists and the Kuwait University and the doctors there, they open their labs for our students, the Globe students. They share what they have. They make for them some experiments on for example, on the fishes, or they take them outside the field. They use the drones to make a big photo for the lands, and this will let the students feel the importance of taking the data consistently, and the impact on that on their environment. We feel proud as a Globe community that we are all the time with each other. I worked before with the education working group, and I always a member of this beautiful community, a Globe community. I am there, and there is my student is there, and I feel very happy that I am part of this community. Thank you very much that you was with me step by step. Thank you very much, all.
And now, thank you so much. Our next speaker is Pima Wangchuk from Bhutan. So welcome. Thank you.
Hi, can you hear me?
You sound great.
Okay. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, everyone. Respected Your Excellency, distinguished guests, Globe officials, speaker, and the educators from different parts of the world. I am Pema Wangchuk, the Globe mentor trainer from Bhutan. Basically, I will be presenting the Globe in Tenruk Central School, Bhutan as a whole, based on the theme Educating for Sustainability. So before I go with my presentation, I would like to thank Globe and the program coordinator for inviting me as a speaker for the United Nations General Assembly Science Summit 2024. Next slide, please. So thank you very much for inviting me. So I have our map here. So this is how our country's map looks like. So our country is fall in Asia and Pacific region, which is under Dr. Deshpandu. So our country coordinator, Sange, deputy, we have Chundusring, and then in our country, we have 24 Globe schools. We have more than 659 students, 31 educators, and 8 trainers. So this is all about our country. Next slide, please. Okay. In the next slide, I have Globe protocols here. So His Majesty once said, our future lies in the hands of the younger generation. Aligning with the theme Educating for Sustainability, this is how we are teaching our students about the different Globe protocols and our Earth spheres, as well as to become a responsible citizens in the Earth. in the world. I repeat, to become a responsible citizens in the world. So whenever we find the need of GLOBE, we inculcate the GLOBE activities in our lesson topic, and we teach, we educate them, and then we, so that they learn so that they can learn about the sustainability, so that our students can know how to preserve our environment. They will know about the importance of our environment, and in turn, they are the one who is going to save our earth. So this is why we emphasize much on our students. So these are the pictures of my students taking measurements and then submitting data to the GLOBE. Next slide, please. So in the next slide, I have a mosquito habitat mapping. So it has been 2 years that we were not able to identify the types of mosquito prevailing in our school. And fortunately, last month, yes, we identify the culex that is prevailing in our school. The culex, which is the main reason for elephantiasis and then West Nile fever. So it is a very dangerous mosquito. And then we identify and then we report it to our school administration. And then now we don't have, can you see a drain here? Yes. Now we don't have this drain. So it is under construction. We are in the process of making a good drainage system in our school. So, and then this larvae was collected from this drain. And then we are happy to announce that we are able to identify, and then, yes, now we no more have such kind of drains. Now we are in the process of constructing a very good and then a very, very reliable drain. This is why, yes, we have to educate and then we have to invest in our youth. So I'm positive that in maybe after 2 to 3 decades, so if our youths are aware about the mosquito habitat, we would be able to eradicate all those diseases. This is why I think we should invest in our youth, and then this is how we educate for sustainability. Next slide, please. In the next slide, I have a picture of my students hugging trees and doing a social work. The main reason behind we are doing such activity is to instill the value of belongingness. Usually people, we don't care what is around us. So we, the GLOBE team in our school, make sure that each and every student adopt a tree, to not to give them a burden, but to instill a value of belongingness. So everyone that is around us should belong to us. Okay, and then so far we have 1,200 students in our school, and then we have adopted 1,200 trees. That is a much success to our GLOBE in my school. And then next slide, please. Now I have a connecting GLOBE with community. So we not only focus only on schools and then school campus, we also connect GLOBE with our community. I felt that community should also know about the importance of environment, how to protect our earth, and then to become a responsible human being while we live on the earth. So these are the methods that we are doing in collaboration with our community. So we are taking care of community water source. So every year, so we used to visit our water source, and then we used to taste the water pH and then the ions that contains in the water, and then we used to disseminate the informations to the community. And then in this way, we are helping community. And then we also do a cleaning campaign, always our responsibility, so that to reduce the environmental effect and to promote and preserve our environment. So this is how our globe is connecting with community. And then we also receive much help from the community as well. So I would like to thank community and then to the globe. Yes. So you are I consider you are the backbone of such our initiatives. And then without of you, I don't think we would be, as it's not possible for us to do such activities and such help to our community and then to the students. Next slide, please. So these are as I said before, these are the backbones of Globe in Tenru Central School. So I have 55 Globe students, and then I have 5 assistant Globe educators. So indeed, together we are doing a wonderful job. And then we are thankful to the GIO Globe Implementation Office for supporting us. And then we're looking forward to such support henceforth. This is all I have for today. And then if you have anything to be discussed, we can. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Pima. Our next speaker is Juan Felipe Restrepo Mesa from Colombia.
Thank you, Mike. Good morning, Your Excellencies and distinguished assistants. My name is Juan Felipe Restrepo Mesa, Knowledge Management Chief at the Colegio Montessori in Cartagena, Colombia, GLOBE teacher since 2018, GLOBE mentor trainer, and GLOBE Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Accessibility Working Group member. I want to start by saying that Colombia is a mega diverse country in Latin America with plenty of natural resources, but paradoxically enormous gaps between official and private education and rural and urban education. As a teacher, STEM better describes what I do with my students. I have been a GLOBE teacher since 2018, and I am also a GLOBE program mentor trainer and member of the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Accessibility Working Group representing Latin America and the Caribbean. Next slide, please, Mike. Thank you. As a teacher, I aim to help my students flourish and achieve well-being. My challenge has been to offer my students meaningful and authentic experiences that make them feel helpful and genuinely contribute to solving the most urgent issues in our territory. Through these 7 years, the GLOBE program has allowed me and my students to accomplish authentic STEM projects and beyond, serve my school and grow professionally, and help other teachers in my country and abroad to grow and closing gaps in education. GLOBE has also offered me and other GLOBE constituencies a space to brainstorm ideas and contribute to solving our global community challenges. As a DEAI working group member during the last 3 years, I have been able to contribute to making GLOBE more accessible to all. Although we still have many challenges as a worldwide community of practice, GLOBE's constituencies, the different working groups, our leaders at the GLOBE Implementation Office, and our sponsors will continue providing an opportunity to make citizen science to benefit our planet and our civilization. Next slide. Next slide, please, Mike. Thank you. The GLOBE program makes us all better global citizens. It begins with you growing and cultivating new skills as a GLOBE teacher. All educators might agree with me on the importance of authenticity in the learning teaching experience. The magic of the GLOBE program resides precisely in the opportunity to make meaningful contributions through measurements based on rigorous protocols designed by scientists. GLOBE has also offered me the opportunity as a mentor trainer to share all these experiences with other teachers in my country, Colombia, for example, in Tumaco, a region that has struggled for many years with violence, or abroad in beautiful countries such as Panama or the exotic Belize. The GLOBE program's scientific rigor has been a conduit for communication between our high school and undergraduate university programs in cooperative projects. In December 2023, our local environmental authority recognized us for genuinely contributing to our district's environmental education. Next slide. Cartagena, my city, was founded in 1553. It's an iconic historical city on the Colombian North Caribbean coast with nearly 1 million inhabitants. It is limited to the north by the second most important wetland on the Colombian north coast, La Ciénaga de la Virgen. Our students' investigations during the last 7 years have focused on two main problems: the land cover transformations, particularly the urban and suburban tropical dry forest and mangrove, and the heat island phenomenon, its leading causes and effects. Sounds familiar? These are common, significant issues around the world. Last month in July, one of our students, the 16-year-old 11th grade Diego Luna, had the privilege to defend his project on sustainability indicators for urban forests in GLOBE's annual meeting in Fredonia, New York, face to face with renowned NASA scientists and academics worldwide. In February 2023, our GLOBE student has the Minister of Science of Colombia in our school listening to their conclusion. Number one, the loss of more than 40 hectares of mangrove, and the reality that La Virgen, year after year, loses diversity and turns into a different ecosystem. I have hope in what this generation can do. They have tested by themselves with real tools on site how the temperature in the city is significantly higher than in the countryside, how it is changing year after year. And believe me, at noon in Cartagena, outside in the street, making measurements on surface temperature, you become pretty aware of what climate change is. Next, please. Students are the backbone of the GLOBE program, a sentence Brian Campbell from NASA once said, and I agree. They enrich the program and get enriched by it, sharing with the students around the globe, exchanging their points of view, seeing their commonalities and differences, and sensing that they are part of something bigger, precisely what global citizenship is. The GLOBE program originally and naturally promotes 21st century skills. Critical thinking is constantly applied. I admire how the program adjusts to hear all voices, from kindergarten to 16th grade. Collaboration is the essence of being a community of practice. Someone is always willing to give a hand at a click of distance. We constantly challenge our creativity through different scenarios in which we share our experiences and projects. And last but not least, communication. Our students have many opportunities to communicate through many different means. My students chose to create their magazine, and they have already produced 2 numbers. They wouldn't forgive me if I didn't mention its name here, the Observa. You can find it on the Colegio Montessori of Cartagena's webpage by following the QR code. Finally, I want to share a motto we repeat in our student research group, Montessori, which summarizes what I think GLOBE is. And it says that you may go faster by yourself, but we certainly go farther together. Greetings from Cartagena, Colombia, and thank you very much.
Juan, thank you so much for what you shared. Our next presenter is Nate Rayner.
Good morning, distinguished guests and visitors. Your Excellency, welcome to my world, New Mexico. I am a teacher at Mezcla Apache High School in Mezcla, New Mexico, where I've been an instructor for the last 15 years. I've been involved with GLOBE as a GLOBE educator for the last 10 years of my 15 years at this particular school. And we have done some tremendous amount of work on the reservation, and especially dealing with the UN Sustainable Goal number 3, which is health. And we'll go more into that. Next slide, please. So what we have done in the last 4 years is create a study on tracking the air quality on the reservation. And basically our students have been not only locally, but they have been to different leadership conferences to talk about how important air quality is on indigenous land. And we've been invited to go to Canada to talk about it. This particular picture was in California, San Diego, and the kids did a presentation on air quality on the reservation and how it affects the elders and anyone with respiratory diseases. Next slide. And here you're seeing our kids presented at the American Indian Science and Technology Conference, which is ACES. ACES is an organization for indigenous students. And we were invited at this leadership summit to talk about our project. Next slide. What we use for our project is a census called Purple Air. Purple Air has sensors all over the world. We can track air quality not only on our reservation, but all over the world and compare our data with other organizations. And one of the projects this year is to get with another Globe school and see if we can swap information using Purple Air. Currently, we have 6 sensors on the reservation, and we have that's outdoor sensors, and we are now introducing indoor air quality monitors where the kids actually build indoor air quality sensors to put in homes of the elders. On the reservation, the homes are about 50 to 60 years old, so they have a problem with insulation, and they use biomass to heat in the wintertime. And a lot of times the fumes from the biomass escape back into the homes, and they have no warning that the air quality indoor is pretty bad. So the students this year are creating the projects where they can build air quality sensors for indoors, where we give them give the residents a sense that, hey, it's not, maybe this is not a good time to use biomass to heat. And they want to take this data and go to the tribal council and present it. And maybe we can secure some funding where we can go to the elders' home and re-insulate their homes. And you can see this is Mescalara on the map. And this particular day, the air quality wasn't bad, but it was in the 50s, and we want, I know during the wintertime, it's going to get even up into the hundreds, and that's bad. Next slide, please. And this is our school, a beautiful school. And if you can see it, the white dome on the bottom, that is a air quality sensors, and we use solar power to keep it going. That sensor report every 2 minutes the air quality around the school. So we can go on to Purple Air website and download the data. And the other ones, the other 5 that we have, is the same type. We put solar panels on a pole to power the sensors. And that way the school doesn't have to use fossil fuel to run those sensors. And basically we use solar power, which is renewable energy, to keep the sensors working. Next slide. And that's basically what we're doing, is that we want to make the lives of our elders a little bit better by trying to alert them the air quality is not so good. And we want to hopefully help them sustain their lives a little longer. And this is what the kids are doing here. And Globe has been a part of us doing this for the last 10 years. We even did a video about this air quality when we first started it. And Globe had it on their website. And we were chosen to get interviewed. And with that, I wish you all a happy and a good day and good rest of the week. Thank you.
Good. Thank you, Nate. Our next presenter is Jerome Zusagla. Jerome.
Thank you very much.
You are very welcome.
Good morning and good afternoon to Your Excellencies and distinguished participants. I am Jerome Osola from Akosombo International School in Ghana, and I've been part of Globe since 2019, and I am the Globe educator in my school. I want to share a few things that Globe has done and the impact Globe is making in Ghana and in my community in Akosombo. This next slide. The Globe Plus project, which was piloted in 2022 in the Greater Accra region of Ghana, where Globe coordinator, Mrs. Betty, trained 5 schools to be able to gather mosquito data. And the reason is because we have seen an outbreak of the dengue virus in most of West African countries. And in recent time, Ghana is not an exception. It has affected 2 regions in the country. So the students were trained to be able to collect the mosquito larvae with the Globe Harper Mapper. And then they took it to the Noguchi Medical Institute Research, which is located in the University of Ghana, Legon. And the citizen scientists will analyze the mosquito to find which genus that mosquito belongs to, because in our part is the Aedes mosquito that is causing a lot of havoc and harm, the dengue disease. So after piloting that project in 2022, this year it has been scaled up. Funding has been secured because the students now know how to use the Globe app. And this funding is secured. Other organizations have come in to support with instruments so that the outbreak communities, students, Globe students will go in there and pick up the mosquito larvae and let it be analyzed at Noguchi. They will also educate the communities. They have already launched a program in Accra during the Mosquito Day, and it brought together chiefs, community members, opinion leaders, teachers, and students. And training is going to be done for the Globe students to go into the communities that are affected by the dengue virus, to be able to collect the mosquitoes and identify them. The aim is to eliminate this dengue disease in our communities. So the students are in the forefront, and it's being done. The next I want to talk about is please, next slide. We have a lot of students engage in different forms of measurements, and I am privileged to be a Globe teacher now, but I wished I was a Globe student when I was in school, because it has improved the quality of education in most schools. In Ghana, most of the basic and JHS level schools do not have laboratories and do not handle gadgets. But with GLOBE, they now know how to use the instruments, do measurements in their communities and around their school. And in my school, for instance, which is a bit privileged, but because they saw students measuring atmosphere data and hydrology data and analyzing them, in 2023, almost everybody in the school, especially the non-science students, had all wanted to join GLOBE, and the numbers increased astronomically because they now see the quality of education that these students are getting. Please, next slide. In our efforts as GLOBE club in my school to avert climate change and mitigate it, the VRA, which is the power producing company, is very particular about the river water. So they engage in tree planting, and GLOBE students joined them in the tree planting. And during the program, the GLOBE students learned that Tabotiara genti is a tree species found only in Ghana, as we talk now. And even in Ghana, it's found in only 3 forest reserves and is in critical danger of getting extinct. So these students, if you can see, they are collecting, they are planting the trees, and then they linked up with the Environment Department of the Water River Authority to go into the Saposo forest, where we can find some of these trees. They collected the trees, fruits, extracted the seeds, and they have next them to plant them in order to conserve biodiversity and prevent the extinction of this tree species from the world. Please, next slide. Another issue these students identified was that most rivers in Ghana are dead, especially in the capital, Accra. There's a big river called the Koli, and they know that it's not dead due to sewage being pumped into, raw sewage being pumped into that river. The pond you see here, and the first picture is a big pond in Akosombo called the Oxidation Pond, where all the sewage in the township goes into that pond, and it is treated before the water is released back into the river. But the river is the mainstay for many people. We have tilapia fish. If you talk about tilapia, everybody knows in Ghana it is in Akosombo, and it's in the Volta River. So in order to protect the river, the student collaborated with the Department of Environment in VRA to collect data, water data from the point where the treated water is being discharged back into the river. Then they analyze the data and find out the temperature, the pH, the nitrate content, and what they cannot find there, they bring it to the lab. You could see that they come to the lab with the citizen science from the community and analyze it in the VRA laboratory to find out whether that water is not too much polluted to be discharged into the river. And if it is discharged into the river, it will not get the river to also lose its aquatic life. So at a point, they found some of the parameters so high, and they had to engage the community to discuss how they could reduce that pollution in the river. These are some of the effects, the things the students are doing, and it is catching up attention for most people, and they see that GLOBE is not just a program that is theoretical but very practical. Even to me as a globe educator, I have learned so much in working with students to collect data and input into the globe site. Thank you very much for letting me be part of this global issue.
Thank you very much, Jabot.
Thanks.
Next, our final speaker is Joan Mannion from Ireland.
Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, my name is Joan, as Mike just told you, and I'm a primary school teacher from Ireland, and I've over 20 years of experience working in primary school. I work in a large school in Roscommon, which is located in the west of Ireland. As well as being a class teacher at the school, I also have a post of responsibility, and this involves promoting science within our school. There is a very, very strong emphasis on promoting environmental awareness and caring for our environment within the Irish primary school curriculum. And over the years, I've taken part in many initiatives within the school setting. But today I'm going to speak to you about my participation in the GLOBE programme with my group of students who would be all in the 11 to 12-year-old bracket. So I became aware of the GLOBE programme through our local county council's environmental officer, and he outlined that GLOBE Ireland had an exciting and interesting environmental project that was suitable for school children. And this project was based on rainfall and flood resilience. So for those of you familiar with Irish weather, rainfall is never too far away from us, particularly here in the west of Ireland. And of course, flooding has become a major issue around the country too. Next slide, please. So the project itself was entitled, How Spongy is Your School? And this involved 4 weeks of measuring precipitation, mapping puddles and ponds, looking at land cover and surface types around our school, and learning about opportunities to build resilience to rainfall-related flooding. It also involved working together as a team to come up with nature-based solutions to flooding and then presenting our findings to other people. This project works towards the Sustainable Development Goals number 13, Climate Action, and number 11, Sustainable Cities and Communities. GLOBE Ireland provided the participants of this particular training programme with precipitation training and also a really helpful teachers information session. And I found this really, really helpful to me myself when delivering the programme to the students. The GLOBE team, I have to say, have been really, really encouraging and supportive, and they're always there on hand and ready to help out. So we received our starter pack from the GLOBE Ireland team, and this consisted of a rain gauge, an A2 observation chart, and some very helpful guidelines on the GLOBE app, and a host of other valuable online resources too. So to begin with, we set up our rain gauge in a suitable location. And in a school setting, you have to find an area where you know it's not going to get disturbed. So there aren't too many of those. And we also, at that point, we used the spirit level to make sure that the rain gauge was level. So now all we had to do was wait. Okay, next slide, please. So the children waited patiently for our first observation day, and this took place on January the 11th, 2024. And much to their disappointment, there was no rain and no puddles for the first few days. But we live in Ireland, so we didn't have to wait very long for the rain to appear. So each day between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m., the students recorded the precipitation levels from the rain gauge, and they also recorded if there were any puddles or floods on our school grounds. The children were very excited to report the high precipitation levels and flooded areas during Storm Isha on January 22nd, last January. It was really, really impressive for me to see how the children, they took ownership of this data collection, and I never had to remind them to take the daily rain gauge readings or to record the puddles or flooding. The collected data was then entered into the Globe Observer app, and the data was uploaded onto the rainfall and flooding tracker weekly. They were mightily impressed, and I was myself also, that the data that they were collecting and the observations they were making would be used by real scientists. And I really feel that this showed them that their work did matter. Over the 5 weeks, there were interesting expert webinars hosted by flood risk experts and various scientists. The project itself, and this is what I really enjoyed about it, it involved a lot of outdoor learning and hands-on activities for the children. And from my experience, children love outdoor learning experiences. And it just brings with it a great sense of self-discovery and understanding of the environment that exists around them. So we carried out a site inventory of our school grounds, which looked at things like elevation, paved areas, permeable surfaces, green areas, trees, hedging, fences, etc. We also constructed a map, which you can see there in our picture, of our school grounds. And we recorded the locations of downpipes and storm drains on our school grounds, as well as marking out the high points, the low points, the sunny points and the shady points of the school. The children then started to become more interested and more aware of where the puddles were forming on our school grounds. And they started observing things like blockages in storm drains or problems with downpipes. So I would frequently be alerted to a storm drain blocked here or a downpipe that was wobbly. Also, we collected soil samples from various different locations around the school grounds. And we carried out simple analysis on these just to see if there was a difference between the types of soil, for example, at the front of the school and the back of the school. And you can see one of our photos there, there's quite a lot of flooding, what was their football pitch. That was in January of last year. Next slide, please. So, plotting the precipitation levels on the grid and constructing a bar chart, this is another skill that the children got to use. And this showed them the variation in precipitation levels. The project identified the main areas where flooding took place on the school grounds. We took daily temperature readings as well, and we recorded these also. So the students, they were able to look at comparisons of rainfall readings across the country. So other schools that were participating in this, they were able to, draw on comparisons. And they were also able to compare our rainfall readings with rainfall readings from the past. So they also found this very, very interesting. And during our Engineers Week in 2024, we invited a guest speaker from Irish Water to speak to the children about Roscommon's wastewater management system. And they were very interested in this, and it made them stop and think, okay, so when the rain falls from the sky and it lands on our school grounds, where does it go then? Where does the water go in the storm drains, etc.? So next, we had to look at some possible solutions and create a rainfall resilience school design. So we then looked at our Globe resource pack that we received from Globe Ireland, and we looked at examples of nature-based sustainable urban drainage solutions. So we had to be very mindful of costs, and we also had to be practical about our solutions. So as a team, we sat down and discussed our options. And I can tell you, this group of 11 and 12-year-olds had some wonderful ideas and great contributions to make. So it was finally agreed that we would propose to build a school pond to drain away some of the water, plant some native hedging and trees, plant some wildflowers and some shrubs that particularly like water. So all of our solutions really would improve biodiversity in our school grounds. So we had to draw up a list of our costs, and then we had to take these findings to the school principal to present to the school management. So she was very interested, she was very supportive, and also very encouraging. And next slide, please. Thank you. Thank you, Mike. So to date, as you can see from the photo, we have started digging the school pond, and we have planted some of the native hedging and trees. So this is an ongoing project. We're by no means finished. The Globe Rainfall and Resilience Programme has been very beneficial and rewarding to our pupils. It has created the opportunity for them to become active participants in caring for the environment and to explore sustainable urban drainage solutions for their local environment. It has taught them that their voices and their actions matter. They've engaged with school management and outside agencies to present their findings. And as part of this project, our team of 6th class pupils were given the opportunity to present their project to the Globe Ireland Conference. And following on from this, they were then invited to present at the 2024 Globe Europe and Eurasia Virtual Student Conference in March, where they listened to children from other countries presenting their findings. And they were really excited about this and found it very, very valuable and beneficial. The group received a Climate Action Award from the Globe Europe and Eurasia Student Conference, and they also received an award for scientific integrity from Globe Ireland in the primary schools category. So they were really excited about all of this. As well as developing scientific skills, communication skills, teamwork skills, and observation skills, this project really gives a voice to the children, and it allows them to be active participants in the solutions to our climate change issues. It demonstrates very clearly that small changes in our own local environments can create big impacts. And I think it is important that we as educators, that we create opportunities to give children a voice and to allow them to feel that they are an integral part of the global community, and also to demonstrate that their actions do matter. The children are, after all, they're going to be our problem solvers, our decision makers, our lawmakers of the future. So let's guide them and empower them to become advocates for change in their communities. Thank you all for listening.
Nice.
Thank you so much to all our speakers for everything that they shared. Again, we just wanted to wrap up this part of the presentation by coming back, and we hope that that you picked up on the fact that all 6 of our speakers have spoken to the impact that the GLOBE program has as a leader in environmental science diplomacy. And we cannot thank you enough for everything you shared. I'm hoping that I haven't been able to see whether we had questions in our chat or not.
Not at this point, but I just would like to remind you that this is not because we don't have participants. This is because this session is ongoing at the same time as a high-level diplomatic negotiations in New York as we speak. So, but I would like to reassure you that all 193 UN member states will be watching the recording. There is a strong interest to reemphasize what Professor Jabot just said, strong emphasis on science diplomacy. And NASA the GLOBE program is recognized as one of the leaders in science diplomacy. So, yes, so having said that, Professor Jabot, what are the most common questions that people usually asking during the presentations? Because you moderate many similar and very unique conference presentations. Let's just try to provide at least one question for each presenter.
Sure. Well, I think probably the most common question that we get in our work is how are we finding connections in similar ways that we heard from our speakers? How do we connect what is happening locally in our region, our community, our school, with the world, right? How do we make those connections? It would be great to hear from our speakers if they're willing to share how they try to make those connections with their students. So understanding the world that's outside their window and being able to use that as a way to connect to other windows around the world.
Yeah, and it looks like Nate raised his hand.
Yeah, one of the ways that we want to connect with not just our community, but other communities, not only in the United States, but around the world, is when we use the purple air sensors and we go to the map, we can zoom in pretty much wherever purple air is being utilized. And again, it's being utilized around the world. And so we can look at our data and compare it with data in a country in Africa, or if they have it, even California during the wildfires that we just had. We had a wildfire here on the reservation as well. So a lot of the time, that smoke from California and Arizona fire would come in, drift into New Mexico. And so we can tell the pattern of which way that fire is actually drifting, and connect that with the fires that we just recently had in New Mexico, actually on the reservation. Part of the reservation was on, pretty much had wildfires as well. So we can look at our purple air sensors and compare the different PBMs rating.
I think I see, Juan, you have your hand up.
Yes, Mike, thank you. The question is very interesting, and I want to stress one of our strategies. We have these worldwide campaigns that are led by NASA scientists, for example, trees around the world. And we have overarching questions such as, why do we have trees, or why we don't have trees in our surrounding? And by giving our data, by putting our data in this wonderful data reservoir and making our kids conscious that these data is going to help NASA scientists to calibrate the satellites, and it's true, and having those scientists talking with our students, because they are so accessible, that creates community, and that creates a sense of world citizenship, which is, I think, the most important outcome of being part of this wonderful program. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, it looks like Pima raised a hand.
Thank you for the questions. I would suggest that how we can connect our as local with global is by doing collaborating project with other schools. So recently, our school is collaborating one project with the global schools in US, one of the schools in US, about the innovate. So in this way, we can make we can connect with other countries. And then one method can be, so we have a blogger. So if we make videos, short videos, and then this method will also help to make worldwide. So that's my suggestion.
Great suggestion.
Thank you. Thank you.
Jerome.
For me, my students who travel a lot, and now that they are getting familiar with globe and the issues around the world, as they get into new environments, they will be able to connect and then share those ideas with the people that they connect with. So we need to emphasize that it's not just in their community. As they move out, they should connect with other people and send a message.
Absolutely. Manal.
Yes, one of the most beautiful impact on our students is the Globe Observer. When they use their iPhone in order to collect their data, the Globe Observer was a very good impact in our students. Also, when they get this email from NASA, when they get a very clear and good result, they feel happy. This gives them a very beautiful impact that they are near the around world, and they are near the NASA globe. So these things, it is small things, but it has a very wonderful impact on the students.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you. Joan.
I just want to say that being part of the Europe and Eurasia conference really opened up to the students in our school, you know, the problems that exist in other countries. And we were looking at flooding and flood resilience, and some of the schools, drought was their problem. So, you know, they're getting to connect and to understand that there are other issues in existence around the world, and that, you know, they're really getting to see the various different impacts of climate change, I think, through collaboration schools around the world, through the GLOBE program. So that's it.
That's great. That's great.
Professor Jabot, maybe you want to add some of your thoughts.
Yeah,
Sorry to put you on the spot.
No,
I
no.
know you're a frequent speaker.
I am. No, I guess I was just reflecting on everything that each of you shared, and how what an amazing example it is as we look at the Sustainable Development Goals. Larissa's heard me talk about sort of the challenge that we have 17 unique goals, but those goals are so intertwined, you know, in trying to resolve famine, right, and trying to end hunger, right. We also at the same time often have to deal around issues of climate change or water access or those kinds of things. And I think the work that all of you are doing and that you shared with our community today are just shining examples of how GLOBE helps make those connections between the Sustainable Development Goals. We have to delineate them in order to be able to apply metrics to monitor our progress. But the reality is that you found ways in your work to be able to integrate that learning in ways that extends beyond a single Sustainable Development Goal, right? And all with the same overarching mission of trying to make the world, understand the world, and then make that world a better place. I think I'm just again so honored and humbled to have been be able to moderate this discussion and hear the great work that you're doing. And I hope as people listen into the recording to this, that they are as inspired as I am by the work that you're doing. And if a country has not joined the GLOBE community, we would welcome them to come and help us extend this work all around the world.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Professor Jabot. And if I may, I know Professor Jabot is a great moderator, so would it be okay if I'll share
please.
some of my brief thoughts? I just would like to say how privileged I am to be part of the GLOBE GIO team. It's an amazing team, and everything that we do together. It's a team effort. So if you see only two of us, moderator and the convener, on the screen, it doesn't mean that behind the screen there is a huge crowd who really contributes to everything that you do, we do, and we all do together. So I want to give credits to all a very big GLOBE team and the leadership team and the GLOBE community. And another very quick point I was going to make. I'm truly privileged to co-teach classes together with Professor Jabot at the UN Global Diplomacy Fellowship Program. And that's truly provide us with some additional resources and additional knowledge and network we are bringing to GLOBE. So it's just we are all working together to bring more resources for the GLOBE educators, for the GLOBE students. We will do everything that we could possibly can to really make sure that your work and the work of you and your students' work is more successful and more exciting. So and one more point, if you don't mind, Professor Jabot. So at this moment in New York, as we speak, there are high-level diplomatic negotiations ongoing. And the whole theme of this year's General Assembly is Summit for the Future. And why is that? It's because the Sustainable Development Goals, as we all know, the plan that was developed by United Nations will end in 2030, in 5 years. So, and maybe 5 years seems like a long time, but for global planning, it's a very short period of time. So the planning of what's going to happen next starts now. So, and I would like to ask Professor Jabot to add into this because he's very eloquently speak on this topic in many different occasions, and I would not possibly be able to really tell more about this than Professor Jabot.
No, yeah, so I think much of the work that I do, I sort of describe the science that I do and the work that I'm trying to do as wicked problems, and it in some ways is sort of a wicked problem that, you know, we are 5 years away from completing what we hoped we were 5 years away from completing the just a huge challenge around meeting the Sustainable Development Goals. And so I think the as we look to the future and the next initiatives that we try to do around this, it's tough to not lose hope in some of the things. I think we are all of your everything that you're doing with students, it offers me great hope, right? We have some very, very serious challenges, but if we can find a way through education, through the work, the great work that you do to inspire these students to take on this work as they move forward, that's the message that I hope I give to the teachers and in my case at our university, the teachers of tomorrow, right? That they, through GLOBE, can have that impact on the world going forward. I think it will be really fascinating to see the outcome of the UNGA this year and start to get a glimpse of the direction that we're going. I have great confidence that direction is going to be extremely well aligned to what we do through GLOBE as a community. So.
Yes, and GLOBE has a very special place in all our hearts and all our minds. And we're really excited about the future because we all are contributing to the next phase of UN SDGs in a very large scale. So don't underestimate your own power. What you do is truly amazing, and what your students are doing is really priceless. So thank you very much. Are there any questions from the speakers, from panelists to Professor Jabot or or to each other?
Right.
All right. Okay.
Well, thank you again for everything you've shared, for everything that you do in your classrooms for the students and the teachers that are your colleagues. And we cannot thank you enough for being part of our community.
Yes, I join what just Professor Jabot said. I am truly privileged and humbled. So you can always find us online, and we always, when I say we, it's a big we, because we have a lot of people who work to make it happen. So thank you. We take our hats off to all the work that you do. Thank you very much.
Juan, you have your hand up.
Yes. I didn't want it to leave without saying a big thank you to the GIO, to GLOBE, to give us this one in a lifetime opportunity to share with diplomats of the world what we are doing in GLOBE and how we are humbling in each of our territories, contributing with closing gaps in education and reaching education of excellence, objective number 4. And I think we are all very proud of being part of this community, and we are going to continue working very hard all together. Thank you very much.
Thank you for saying that.
Thank you, Juan Felipe. Yes, really means a lot to all of us.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate you selecting me to be a part of this panel.
We're honored to have you, Nate.
Yes.
I really appreciate also being given the opportunity to speak and to just, you know, convey some of the work that the children are doing, and, you know, to show that they have enthusiasm, and that, you know, by having opportunities like the Globe programs for them, you know, it's a no-brainer really, because it's real hands-on, and they absolutely love that. They love the outdoor experience. So keep up the good work, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Thank you
all.
very much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Jabot, for great moderation. With that, thank you for all who participated, and thank you those who listening in the recording and watching and recording. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.